Does anyone have a question they would like to raise?
Hi, Stuart.
What do you
Lisa here. I'm wondering if you could speak a bit about guilt, guilt for being happy when others aren't, in that context.
I mean, what can I say about that? Why should anyone feel guilty about being a happy person? Why should anyone allow somebody else's unhappiness to interfere with the joy, the love, the openness of their heart? If you allow that to happen, it just means you don't want to be happy, because there's so much unhappiness in the world. It's not difficult to find people who will just emote that kind of tension, unhappiness, and that's part of the work in learning how to build yourself inside, to get to a place inside yourself where you're strong enough not to attach yourself to other people's unhappiness. And then you can maybe do something to help them. Because if you get swept away in their unhappiness, there's almost nothing you can do for somebody. But if you have that joy, that love in your heart, that you can tickle them, you can do something to change the conversation. And I'm a firm believer of, no one, my job is to build me to the place where there's nobody on this planet that can interfere with the joy and the love in my heart. And what I have to give to other human beings in terms of compassion, in terms of empathy, caring about them. Because I can't do that if I'm all caught up in misery that goes on in the world. So I think, there's just a simple answer to that. You have to allow other people to be your teacher. I say this all the time. Also, how you don't want to live. And if you realize it and recognize it, you'll see in other people that lack of happiness usually takes place when they haven't worked deep enough inside themselves to build a chakra system that can keep the heart open, they can stay centered and balanced, and they have the internal capacity to deal with their problems and not just dump all their problems on everybody else. And when people come to that realization and they want to do that, geez, I am 100% behind them. They could have everything I've ever learned in my life. But if they want me to wallow in their unhappiness, it doesn't work. I can't do anything. And I don't want my spiritual life to drain into somebody else's unhappiness. But the moment that they decide that they want to grow, they want to transform that unhappiness, that suffering, into a higher level of energy, I have 150, 200% commitment to them. Because then I can truly do something. But I don't think it's fair for anyone to try to treat other people in a way where they want you or me or anyone to just wallow in their unhappiness. And all of the things I'm talking about, all they do is get you a lot stronger. You get stronger in yourself. You develop a capacity to detach yourself from. I mean, look, today I had some serious things happen today. I got two texts within a minute of each other. One of them is that a person is very dear to me who I loved very much. It was a great friend, and that she just died very close to me, you know? And I've known her for, God knows, 40, 50 years now, you know? She used to be a student of mine, and, you know, and always I would go down to Brazil, and I would always have lunch with her, and, you know, have a just fun time with her. You know, we're very good friends. And I got an email, a text this morning. She passed on. You know, and then one text later, literally within a minute, somebody in Brazil's child was almost killed in something that happened with Hezbollah this morning. I mean, it's fantastic, you know, what goes on in the world. And the only way I can help people get through these things is I cannot get caught up in the drama. I have to stay detached. I have to keep my heart open. I have to be able to nurture them. And thank God this young man survived. You know, he wasn't, you know, they let him out of the hospital. He's okay. But all this drama, and literally in 1 minute. And how do I help people? If I get swept away in the drama, I have to have that centeredness at the core of my being and my heart open. And then I can do something. I sent the daughter of this, you know, woman who's also a very good friend of mine, you know, a very, you know, my condolences. And she sent me back a beautiful, beautiful text. Beautiful. You know, that's the best you can do. And not get swept away in all the drama, because there's so much drama in this world that you really have to get strong. And you never know when it's going to happen. Bingo, suddenly, you know, boom, shit happens, you know.
Thank you.
And that was this morning, you know. Does anyone else have a question? I hope it's clear, because these kinds of situations happen to everybody, everybody. And you never know when they're going to happen. And they're a test. Can you truly have compassion for another human being going into just having something difficult, and open and, you know, do something that makes them feel better? Well, you got to be strong inside. You can't get swept away in the drama. It just blinds people, you know, blinds people. And we're all going to go through it. I mean, we all, parents and children and this and that, and there's always something that happens in the world that that really can afflict us and make us get swept away with all the drama. And I'm not saying one shouldn't grieve, you know, you should grieve, but do it in a quiet, simple way and let go of that grieving. And then one has to move on in their life. I don't know if any of you know this woman. I think you might know her, Wendy. Remember Inez? Yeah, she passed on this morning. You know?
Yes, I do. Sorry to hear.
Yeah, she was such a good friend of mine. She used to work for me, and we laughed so much. And I tell you, I fired her 5 times when she worked for me. And I would say, "You're finished. I can't take it anymore." And I would walk out on the street. She'd be standing there leaning on a car. I'd look at her and I just start to laugh. I said, "You're hired again." 5 times I did this. I used to really like her. She was a wonderful human being. A very good friend. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask?
Can I ask Stuart again? Just, with feelings like grief or sadness, um, you know, how much to feel of that and let it kind of be felt.
No, Alicia, I think grief is very important. I think people have to grieve. But when you turn it into a major soap opera and it takes months and months to get over it, all you're doing is just draining yourself of all your energy. Grieve. Feel that sorrow for somebody who's passed and you love and you really miss them in your life. At the same time, it's like I told Inez's daughter, I said, she's on her journey and God will take care of her. She's on her journey, the continuation of her journey, and God will take care of her. I mean, I had that with probably the closest person and the person I love more than anyone who's ever been in my life, and that was Rudy. I was in an airplane crash with him. And I was knocked unconscious. I was unconscious for about 10 minutes. And when my consciousness came back, one of the people in the plane told me Rudy just passed on. And I had to get really sad. And my first thought was, I said, God bless, that you allowed me to be with you the last moment of your life. I was holding your hand when that plane hit the mountain. And I said to him, I really said this. I said, now I'll find out what the last 6 years was really about. I told him that. And whether I can sustain what you taught me, and use it in my life to help uplift other people. I mean, it was my way of grieving. And I said this, I was standing over his body. I mean, I tried to revive him with artificial respiration and, he was gone. And then I stood up and that was my first thoughts. I just thanked him for allowing me to be there in the last moment of his life. Thanked him for 6 years of a man who saved my life, made it possible for me to be here doing what I'm doing today. And I said to myself, you'll find out now what the last 6 years were all about. Did you get the training? Are you going to remember what he taught you? Have you changed in yourself to continue the evolution of it? That was grieving, but it was also trying to reach the highest level of myself in the situation. And if anyone close to us dies, we shouldn't be upset. What did we learn from them? Well, how did they nurture us? How did they give us life? And one day we all die from something. There's nothing we can do about that. Something comes along. And we have to learn how to understand that when you evolve spiritually and you develop an inner life, there's no longer life or death. There's the evolution of the soul. And the soul is born into this place, this planet. It has to learn what it has to learn on this voyage and move on. And if it doesn't completely learn how to develop a state of enlightenment, then it comes back to continue the journey here. until it finally learns. Body dies. Soul continues to evolve. And I think finally, for most people, when they do leave the world, it's like a vacation from all of this insanity that goes on here. It's like taking a vacation. You know, they go away for 40 days and nights and they come back. Unless they develop the spiritual life where they finally get free of all this. So instead of being sad, we should rejoice when people move on. You know, and most of that sadness is our own insecurity and our own fear of dying. And that's what comes out. But again, one should grieve. One should grieve with their heart open. I mean, Rudy even told me that. He said, look, when I leave here, don't build shrines to me. Don't build, monuments to me. Just learn what I have to teach while I'm here. And that is the greatest service you can do for me. Told me this, I don't know, maybe 20 times. Learn what I have to teach while I'm here. One day I'll be gone. And he told me that he told me many times he was going to be in an airplane crash. Never told me I was going to be with him. But he told me many times he was going to be in an airplane crash. So the grieving should be grieving with the heart open. The gratitude for what you learned from that person. The gratitude, say parents, they gave birth to us. Without them, we wouldn't be here. The gratitude for that. If we had a hard time with them while they were alive, the hell with it. Let it go. Just be grateful that they were the channel through which we came into the world. And thank them for it. Does anyone else have a question? Anyone? Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you and God bless you all. And I always say it, I'll say it again. Everyone needs a guru. You all are my guru. Your presence here has done so much to help me grow that I have nothing but gratitude for every single one. And God bless you all. There'll be meditation on Tuesday. And there'll be no meditation next weekend because I'm having a retreat here. And also just a further announcement, if anybody anywhere is interested in coming to the retreat and actually in celebration of Rudy Samadhi in February, please get in touch with me or Jennifer, and we'll put you on the list. There are people already coming from Israel, from Brazil, from all over the United States. So God bless you all. Thank you, and we'll have class on Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stuart.
Thank you,
Yes.
Stuart.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
And